We're going to go ahead and get started. Notice is hereby given of a regular meeting of the City of San Angelo Development Corporation to be held on April 26, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. at the East Mezzanine of City Hall, 72 West College Avenue, San Angelo, Texas, for the purpose of considering the following agenda items. One, we will call the meeting to order. It is 8:31. And Dr. Jones, will you please lead us in prayer?
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day in this beautiful city. We thank you for all that you're doing for us every day that we don't even know about. Pray that you would bless our proceedings here and everything we do would bring you honor and glory. We ask these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. 3, public comment. Issues or items that are not on the agenda may be raised by the public at this time. Citizens should speak from the podium, begin by stating their name, and limit remarks to less than 3 minutes. Board members may request that a discussed item be placed on a future agenda. The board takes public comment on all regular agenda items during the discussion of those items. Do we have any public comment?
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm very short. Most of you know me. I'm Desiree Johnson. I am the director of the ASU Small Business Development Center. And I want to take a minute to just introduce our newest team member of our graduate student team. This is Mason Kendall, and he joined us just a few weeks ago. And so he's going to be with us for hopefully a little while longer. He's expected to graduate with 1 master's degree soon. So I'll let Mason introduce himself.
Hello, everyone.
Morning.
Yeah, like she said, I'm graduating with my business data science degree this May, hopefully. And then I'm going to come back in the fall and get my MBA. I'm 3 classes short. So plan on working as a GA here for as long as I can, learn as much as I can. So it's good meeting y'all.
Welcome aboard.
Good job, Mason.
Good morning, Bob Schneeman, Economic Development Project Manager. I just want to give you all a real quick update on 3 items. I hope I don't do a Rick Perry here. The Skyline hangar contract, all the paperwork has been signed, all the agreements are signed, so they're ready to move forward. And we're starting to get some dialogue back and forth between us and the contractor now on demolition. The second thing is the non-potable water study out at the airport. We're going to kick that off on May 10th, so that one will get rolling. And then the third thing is the sales contract for the 9 acres at the industrial park is at the title company. Both sides have signed, so we've got that moving forward. Thank you.
All right. Any other public comment? All right, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Line item A, consider approving the necessary corporation disbursements. B, consider approving the regular meeting minutes of March 22, 2023. C, consider a resolution in support of a qualified hydrogen infrastructure within Port of Corpus Christi Authority, Horizons Clean Hydrogen Hub, as a partner of the Trans-Permian H2 Hub program. And D, consider approving a lease agreement by and between the City of San Angelo Development Corporation and 4L Roofing and Restoration, LLC, and authorizing the board president or their designee to execute all necessary documents. Can you have a motion?
So, can I get some just ignorant side, being new, can I get some clarification on the item C? Bob,
Okay.
can you give a little background on that?
If we want to do that, can we pull that item and discuss it in regular?
Okay.
Can I request to pull that item? And then
Yes.
I'll second.
Okay. So we'll pull item C. We have a first by Director Mantooth and a second by Director Mahaffey. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. So then regular agenda, should we put that first, I guess? And so we'll discuss 4C first. Bob, do you want to take the floor?
Good morning again, Bob Schneeman, Economic Development Project Manager. Back in October, we were approached by a company asking our support for a clean hydrogen hub. That the facility will probably be located in Fort Stockton because of the location for it's relative to high tension power lines, and also one of the, I believe some of the oil related. And the intent was for that hub to cover the Permian Basin basically, and sort of everything from San Antonio west to El Paso, including San Angelo. And they are going through the process. I think there are going to be 10 of these throughout the country, and it's a competitive process. They are moving forward in that selection process through the Department of Energy, and they partnered with the Port of Corpus Christi, which gives them a lot more ability to transport once they've produced this hydrogen. We feel that, and they feel too, that San Angelo is going to be one of the beneficiaries, of that technology, either through vehicle fueling stations. There's the potential for manufacturing. We have one company that's actually looking at San Angelo relative to that. So this is just a non-binding letter of support and a resolution by the board to, in a non-binding manner, support that. Thank you.
All right, so then,
So motion to approve. I
Okay.
appreciate the clarification.
absolutely.
Second.
Okay, so we have a first by Director Mahaffey, second by Director Jones. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving back to the regular agenda, item A, consider approving the March 2022 financials, presentation by Tina Diersky.
Director of Finance, I have for you your March 2023 financial statements for review. Sales tax was up in March by 8.86%, and in the following month of April, it was up by 13%. Excuse me. On your balance sheet for economic development side, we have about $4.3 million in the money market account that we're holding liquid in anticipation of some upcoming projects, and about $6.7 million in longer-term investments. Your unassigned fund balance is about $5.1 million. That represents funds that are available for future projects. Also, with your current budget, you still have available $1.5 million in future projects. On the income statement, you'll see that sales tax is in excess of budget at 58%, while we're 50% through the year, which is good news, mostly due to conservative budgeting. There were a few minor operational payments made for the agreement with the city for staff and services. And on your balance sheet for the ballot side, currently have most of our funds in the money market account as we build up funds to make the debt service payment to the city in August. And there's about $3 million in investments. The unassigned fund balance on the ballot side is sitting right below $5 million. And again, sales tax on the income statement for the ballot side in excess of budget at 58%. We had a payment go out for city services and for the affordable housing program. That was really all the activity that generated there. I do want to mention that interest and investment income is performing much better than we had anticipated this year, and so you've already seen interest income in the amount of $250,000 to date for this year. So that's all I have. If you have any questions.
Any questions from the board? All right. Do you have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a first by Director Ceballos, second by Director Gomez. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion
Thank
carries.
you.
Thank you, Tina. All right, moving on to B, update and discussion regarding the 2023 business plan competition, presentation by Nora Navarez.
I'm short too. So, so this morning, Nora Navarez, Economic Development Assistant. I'm also going to be having Miss Desiree Johnson. We tag team along with on the business plan competition. But this competition this year, we decided that we would make a little change. But it's a good change because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be combining some phases. You may recall that the business plan was conducted in 3 phases. Well, we're going to do it in 2. And this will kind of help us streamline internally. So those that are competing, they still have the same amount of time, but it just helps us in the long run. So the competition will kick off June 1st. So we're going to make a soft announcement at the chamber luncheon this month, so for May. So Desiree, you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I'd be happy to take any questions that you have. Ultimately, just to give a little bit more detail on that, condensing phase 2 and 3, typically there was a more time investment on behalf of our community judges. We're going to take that down for them, so that way they're not committing to so much time reviewing business plans in advance of the live competition. The competitors will still receive feedback from those live judging panel. And I think it's just going to help us really on the administrative side to be innovative and really kind of cut down on any unneeded back and forth steps. Is kind of our plan there.
And so the announcement of the winners will be November 15th. And so we are making a change there, maybe not do the announcement here at the meeting. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But we're still working on that.
We have some time.
Yeah, we still have some time. And so prize, the money is still the same amount. First, 40, 20, and 10,000. And then in-kind prize, I'm really excited because now that we're working with Media Advantage, it's going to increase. And those that win are going to really benefit as well from those in-kind prizes. So I'm excited for this competition. So if you have any other questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Okay. Any questions, feedback from the board? No? And just to clarify, go ahead.
What is the, so you're going to do a soft launch June? When is the application deadlines and stuff for the
The
community?
deadline to submit will be online by August 21st by 5 p.m.
Thank you.
So the application will be live June 1st, but we'll start teasing information. In previous years, we've launched the competition, we've opened the application usually earlier May. And realistically, that was just a timing issue for us this year. The SBDC is a major contributor to a lot of the preparation that goes into launching the competition from a purely administrative standpoint, getting the website up, getting the information out. And so due to some of our other large events, we just said, why are we killing ourselves? Let's just push that a couple of weeks. So that's what we've done this year. And so because folks are used to seeing it early summer, we just want to kind of get that soft launch out there to say the application is coming, here's when to expect it, you'll be able to apply online beginning June 1st. We also think that this will give us some time to encourage folks to reach out more to the SBDC business advisors to get help and preparation in that initial entry. So they're required to do a 2-page business overview, and we've seen those all over the gamut. So we're excited to be able to kind of say, hey, we're here to help you and get more people in the door.
Cool. And just to clarify conceptually, so going historically the phase 1, and then there was a group, and then it dwindled down to phase 2, right? And then they did the live presentation at phase 3. So now we're just kind of combining phase 1 and 2.
Yes, so the primary difference is in phase 2, the competitors would submit their full written business plan. And over the years, what we've learned from that is they get their business plan, the external judging panel would review the business plan and provide feedback. And then the contestants would have about a week, if that, to make any final edits to that written business plan. And then that written business plan would be resubmitted in advance to the live competition. And what we've learned is that it causes a lot of additional stress on the client because those comments are sometimes contradictory. And so they're saying like, hey, change this, and then another judge will change that. And so there's a lot of hand-holding and fine-tuning that happens in that week that, in my opinion, as a business advisor, is just more stressful on that client. A lot of our participants that we see that move forward typically tend to be existing businesses. These are folks that are in the competition, they're dedicating their time to this. It's a huge time investment already. And so just by condensing down that first round of initial judging, so the judges will still review the plan, provide feedback, all of those things. They're just not gonna have, basically we're cutting that revision step. So they're not gonna be revising that final plan. The beautiful thing about that is that we are establishing, and part of the guidelines is that if they are selected as a finalist, we ask them that they at least meet with a business advisor one time. So we've established that relationship with them. And from there, when the competition concludes, we can continue to work with them and adjust their business plan based on any feedback at that point when they're no longer under the gun during that week time frame. So we're just pulling that initial review of the plan out.
Okay, and how many entries did we have last year, just as, was it like 30-something, I think?
We had 39.
Yeah, about 40.
Yeah, about 40. Once at the end.
Okay.
So,
And I know, I don't know if it's a year or 2 years ago, we had one of the recipients have some challenges
Yes.
with, because of the
agreement.
commitment of the opening up their books and the financials and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Was that ever addressed or revamped?
Yes.
Yes, because on the guidelines, we put that when you sign, you're saying that you've read those guidelines. And those guidelines state that. And plus, I also meet with those individuals that are selected and go over that agreement with them specifically and break that down. And at that time, I did the same.
So a couple major changes that we made to the practicality of the competition is of course, with the condensing of phase 2 and 3, we've made some major revisions with the help of our city attorney to kind of redraft the business plan guidelines. So same principle, but some fine tuning there. One thing that we're really calling attention to is that it is a grant program. These are grant funds that are awarded. And I think that extra connotation gives it the idea that it's not just free money, we're not writing a check. Costa DC is not just writing a check. And then another thing that we've done even a step further is really taking that responsibility as much with Nora, to have those one-on-one meetings and explain that, which we've done every year since the competition has begun. But the next step was we added the actual sample agreement to the application. So they are having to review that as they submit their application. It's no longer a please review this attachment. And secondly, we have educated our business advisors further. So as they prepare people to come into the competition, we're being able to explain that process. We ourselves have become more knowledgeable on what that agreement looks like, so we can better communicate that to our clients or those folks that are involved in the competition in support of the efforts that Nora is making on the Costa DC side.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Great job.
I heard you mention that Media Advantage coming on board has helped the in-kind prizes. To what extent and how are they involved?
Well, yeah, the media part, each of the media people that are here, KLSC, KSAN, they usually just donated either just to first place and maybe second place. Pretty aware now that they're doing all places, plus whoever wins, I believe first place, I haven't gotten updated yet, but I know we're going to have a billboard. Whoever wins will also have a billboard. That has been done before.
So Media Advantage would handle the advertising for the winners? Is that what we're saying?
Well, what
or did they just arrange to have the prizes donated?
The in-kind prizes, once that person is selected as the winner, that person is responsible for contacting that person who is giving the in-kind prize. So the two, once they connect, they can work out
Okay.
details.
I would imagine, just knowing Andy and her team fairly well, that they'll probably have a lot of help and offer assistance as needed. And then that would probably be some sort of initial, investment of their time, and then a potential to continue on through a paid agreement with them as a media management company. So, and then there's also additional in-kind prizes that we seek out too, not just advertising, but professional services from attorneys and CPAs, which have always been very beneficial to the clients. So,
Awesome. All right.
Anything
Great job.
else?
Yeah. Anyone else?
it's gonna be the best year yet.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Do we need to open that to any public comment, Brandon, or no? Just, okay. So then we'll move on to item C, update regarding the Economic Development Director position and search process. Presentation by Michael Dane.
Good morning, Michael Dane, Interim Economic Development Director. We interviewed 4 candidates that were presented by the search firm, and we're not ready to move ahead with any of those 4 candidates, so we are returning to the search, and they will present additional candidates when they're ready. I would anticipate a month or so when they'll present to us a new binder with candidate information, and we will schedule interviews accordingly.
Are we obliged to continue to be engaged with this particular search firm, or have we contemplated pivoting to another search firm to improve our odds for success?
We have not discussed separation from this firm at this point. I think that's probably something we could do. But at this point, we feel like we want to move ahead with this firm for at least one more iteration, one more cycle, and go from there. Any questions? All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. All right. It is 8:53. We will move to closed session, item 6. Executive session under the provision of Government Code Title 5, Open Government Ethics, Subtitle A, Open Government, Chapter 551, Open Meetings, Subchapter D, exceptions to the requirement that meetings be open under the following sections. A, Section 551.071, consultation with attorney regarding affordable housing. B, Section 551.087, business prospect negotiations regarding 1, Project BESS, 2, Project LipChip, 3, Project Monet, Project 4, Project Stockpile, 5, Project Textit, and 6, Rosenberg Site Solutions. C, Section 551.071, consultation with attorney regarding the San Angelo Chamber of Commerce Professional Services Performance Agreement. And it is 8:54. We are now in closed session. Thank you, everyone. Are we back? It is 10:33, and we are back from closed session. Number 7, follow-up and administrative issues. A, consideration and possible actions of items discussed in closed session, if needed. There are none. Right? So, B, announcements and consideration of future agenda items. Do we have any? If not, I've got a couple. Well, Mike, do you have something?
No, you go ahead, please.
All right. Well, one of the things that we used to do in the past that I think we've gotten away from is doing site visits as a board. I think being on the board over the years and being able to see the reality and the reality of decisions that we've made and sources that we've funded and projects that we funded, such as the railport, the airport being some that we've done over the years, the industrial park being another one. I think personally, I think it's something that as a board we should get back to doing. Personally, my recommendation would be that we do something like that, maybe on a quarterly basis. And the way we've done it in the past, we could do it on a separate day, or you could do it, after our meeting. So, say if we had something scheduled after this meeting, we could go and see it. So, I'd like to propose some consideration that we could get back to doing some of that in the near future. if everyone's in agreement with that.
Love that idea, and if anybody has any ideas, anything they're curious about they'd like to visit, we could schedule something for next month. And one of the things we talked about is it would not necessarily be posted as part of the formal meeting, and that people could go or not go, depending on what their calendars allowed. And so we might post for possible quorum, but tour a facility, and we could start that next month if you wanted. And the other thing we talked about, I think depending on what we were doing in the past, we could get a bus. Concho Valley Transit would help us. We could also, I think when we went to Warren Cat, I think we were on our own. We all transported on our own. So we can do that either way. The airport has some activity going on. There is some planned development down on the south end of the taxiway, and Jeremy would be glad to show us that. And there's a place out there to eat lunch if that's what we want. So we could start there, or if you have another idea or you're curious about something, anything's possible.
Okay. And then I've got another item, or just really, I think, just a reminder for the board. If I'm not mistaken, per the bylaws, next month's meeting in May, we'll need to make a decision as far as filling the vacancies or the executive board, right? So I know we currently have a vacancy in the first vice president position, so that needs to be filled. And I mean, really, all 3 terms would be voted upon. So just keep that in the back of your minds if you have any interest in being on the executive board. That'll be something that I believe should be on the agenda, will be on the agenda for next month, so.
Also, we used to distribute binders to board members that had relevant documents in them, policies, state law, that kind of thing. Binders are a little bit old school, but their use, I like binders. And if you would like, we can prepare a fresh set of binders, hand them out next meeting. And we'll go from there.
Cool. All right. Anybody else? Anything? Anything else, Mike?
No, probably, no.
No? All right. Well, then, if nothing else, then I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
You got it. So move.
All right. All right. What?
Thank you.
All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, everybody, thank you very much. 10:37, we are adjourned.